I'm Herm Gailey. We're here today to talk about a horse's on-off switch. You want a horse that can do dynamic, exciting things without getting mentally excited and without staying energized when it's over. You want to be able to notch your horse up, notch him back. We're going to make a video with the horse in a minute, but for the short haul, I'm going to use my attractive assistant Jim here to show an on-off switch. Little different species, but same principle. He's a border collie. Border collies come with an on switch. The off switch is optional. We've worked on putting it off on him. Right there, he is on off. His most favorite thing in the world, Jim, lie down, Jim, is the hose. He would rather play with the hose and the water coming out of it than anything else. He gets pretty wound up. We're going to turn him on and see if we can turn him off. And that will be the same principle as with your horse, and it'll be fun for him. You ready, buddy? Go. Go, go, go. Okay, that'll do. Down. He's ready, but he's not acting on it. He's relaxing. That's your off switch. Thank you, son. We'll go out to the pen now and do something like that with the horse, but hopefully we won't jump as high. Hello, I'm Herm Gailey. We're here on a hot July morning to get into the on-off switch that we want to have on our horses. That's the process of balancing relaxation with readiness. You can't just have your horse brain dead from riding him so quietly that he's asleep, because when the sleeper awakens, it's often not pretty. On the other hand, if you have your horse too up, all they do is worry all the time. All they do is worry all the time. They're anxious. They're anxious. They're like this. You don't want that either. Balance the two so you can notch your horse up, notch him back. That lets you control their energy level, so that you find yourself in a position maybe where the environment is exciting. You know, a truck goes by with a tarp hanging out the back. If you can dictate the energy level, or at least bring it back under control, you have better survival skills. So you have to have some experience in bringing them up and bringing them back down. So we're going to demonstrate. I'm going to just literally just sort of cowboy him around a little bit and notch his excitement level up, and then hopefully show that he will come back down, or show how I would bring him back down if he is a little bit unnerved, at least temporarily, because he has not been doing much of that lately, because this is sort of a sabbatical year with our public health situation. So I'm not getting him ready to show or showing him. The other thing I wanted to mention, sometimes I pass on a little tip. I said it's a hot morning. You might say, boy, it must be hot. He's dripping wet. He is dripping wet. Instead of hosing him just after I ride him, I'll hose him before I ride him. That way, he's cool, he's damp, and you get a little head start on things in terms of cooling him off, instead of having him out here just sweating himself to death. So that's not sweat, that's a nice cool water. So I'm just going to lope him around, maybe be a little aggressive, do a few rollbacks, then maybe run up center pretty hard, stop, back up, spin both ways. All things that can get a horse excited. It's sort of the equivalent, say, of running a set of barrels. Your horse ought to come back down. So regardless of what you're doing, you want to be able to notch him up, notch him back. So enough talk. Let me take him out here and move him around a bit. So I'll just run up past the camera, stop him and roll him back. Woo. And blend back into a circle the other direction. And I'm not letting him just pony lope around here. I'm asking him to make an effort. I'll make one complete revolution, Next time I'll run up the side, stop and do a rollback. So I'm going to notch his energy level up. Whoa. Turn back. Make a circle. And the next time, I'm going to go up center. Gallop him pretty good, stop, back up, turn around. Ooh. Back up, and back up with a little effort. Now, he's got to relax a second now. Get ready to turn. And I'm going to ask him to turn pretty fast. Whoa. Let him relax in between. There's a huge horsefly on him. And turn to the left. Whoa. Now, let's see where we are. Sorry for the interruption. It was a horsefly as big as you needed a pilot's license if you were going to fly that thing. See where his head goes? He hasn't been taught to put his head down or forced to put his head down. He knows right now he's on his own time. And now, when he walks off, he should walk off like grandma's horse. Although some of the horses I've seen the grandmas riding would scare me, but we won't go there. So let's just walk him forward on a loose rein, and if he's prancy or wanting to go too fast or he seems troubled, then I'll deal with that. You don't need to go right on to the next exciting thing. When you do something demanding, give them a little bit of time to regather their thoughts. Maybe just stand still sometimes. Just standing still. I mean, you teach a horse an awful lot when you teach him to do nothing at all. So I'm handling the reins and saying to him, nothing exciting happens every time I take a hold of the reins. Sometimes you're just going to bend around and come to a nice relaxed stop. We'll take off to the left. I use this bending as it's my drug. Get them to relax. Get them to relax. And when their head goes down like that, I'm not advocating having a horse travel around with his head like that, but he's on his own time. So if he wants to put his head down and snowplow the ground with his nose and relax, I say more power to you, buddy. Now let's sort of duplicate what we were doing that was so exciting or so demanding and see if he's at all stirred up. If you wanted to be really diligent, maybe you'd trot him a little bit, but I'm going to do this more like real life. And see if he comes back and relaxes. And he's up in the bridle a little bit. I certainly am not concerned. And I always like to end most sessions doing something real quiet, like open a circle like this. If you've lost your circle, you've got a problem. Now I just galloped him up center pretty hard. Let's see if we can go up the center kind of quiet. And that's working. So that's what you're after. And that's something that I wanted to introduce because we're going to come back to it again and again, that balance between relaxed and ready. That ability to control your horse's energy and put it to good use instead of having it be a problem for you. So in future videos, we're gonna look at this some more, talk about how you get that. But that's kind of what you're after. You want to be able to ask your horse to do mentally exciting things without becoming overexcited. And if you accomplish that, you're going to have a horse that's going to be more reliable, more at peace with himself, and more at peace with you for whatever you choose to do with him. So those are some thoughts for this hot morning. I've ridden him just about long enough to dry him out, and I think I'm going to put him up pretty shortly. Hope you guys are riding well and feeling well and doing well. Till next time.